Hey guys.
Hey,
Just in.
testing time.
I know I was on another call and I was like, I gotta get off this thing.
Right. Okay, it's 4 o'clock. Ready to start?
Okay, I'm ready when you are.
Okay. I would like to call the meeting of the St. Louis County Board of Zoning Adjustment to order. May I please have a roll call?
Ms. Bills,
Here.
Mr. Randall,
Present.
Mr. Nutt,
Here.
The Department of Planning staff members are Bennett Anderson, Amber Mihelic, and Gretchen Landgraf. Also on the call is John Burford from the County Counselor's Office. First, I'd like to offer into the record the affidavit of publication pertaining to today's meeting, December 3rd, 2025. The board hereby takes official notice of and admits into evidence on the record the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance, Chapter 1003, St. Louis County Revised Ordinance 1974 as amended, and Chapter 1004, St. Louis County Revised Ordinance 1974 as amended. Next, I'd like to call for a motion to approve the minutes of the previous BZA meeting of November 5th, 2025.
I move to approve the minutes as drafted.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes. This meeting is conducted as a teleconference and is recorded. The planning staff will read each request into the record and present technical advice to the board if needed. The petitioner will be unmuted, state his or her name, and make a brief presentation to the board explaining the reason and hardship for the requested variance. The board will not consider financial hardships. Board members may ask questions to clarify the facts. When the board is satisfied with the material presented, the chairperson will then ask if there is anyone in favor or opposition to the request to respond. Click the hand next to your name. If any comments were submitted, staff will read each into the record. Before a call for the vote, the petitioner may request a continuance in order to present additional documentation. The board may also request a continuance to gather additional information or for a visit to the site. Once comments have been heard, the chairperson will call for a vote. At that time, the discussion is ended. No further discussion is permitted. The board will generally make a decision today. In the case where only 2 board members are present and the vote is split, the request will be continued to the next regularly scheduled meeting when all 3 members are present. If a variance is approved, the petitioner has 6 months to obtain the necessary permits or establish the use requested, or the variance will expire. The petitioner or any interested party has the right of appeal to the St. Louis County Circuit Court. Paperwork indicating the board's decision will be emailed to the petitioner after the hearing.
BZA petition 41-25 Underwood Holdings LLC. This is a request for an exception to the side yard regulations for the purpose of constructing a deck at 4636 Mehl Avenue. Petitioner seeks a side yard of 9 inches in lieu of 6 feet as required by the R4 Residence District regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. Bryan, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you and you can proceed.
Thank you. So we are asking for a setback variance to be granted due to the location of the corner of the house as opposed to the property line that runs at a diagonal angle. You can see where the 9 inches comes into play. The problem is from that house, from the rear wall of that house, even to come out 3 feet to do a smaller porch, it still puts us within the 6 foot setback rule. When we come out about, I'll say about 24 inches from the house is the point that we enter within that 6 foot setback area. So the only other possibility on doing anything with this deck would be to run off of the house at the same diagonal line as the fence that you see in the picture there. It would make it a very awkward task. I'll just say that it would be out of the norm. So we're hoping that the deck has been in place like this for a lot of years now. We're hoping that it can remain in place for that reason. You know. It would definitely create an undue hardship to have to do something out of the norm and build a crooked deck coming off of the house to stay outside of that 6 foot setback line. Um, uh, as far as I know, there's been no neighbors that have an issue or have complained about it in the past. I haven't been able to find anything on record pertaining to anything like that. So we're just hoping that we can keep it as it is right now.
Okay,
It-
go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, sorry. Brian, is the new deck going directly in line with the existing deck?
The existing deck isn't being removed, it's just being revamped, updated.
Okay.
And we'll bring it up to codes, today's codes, definitely.
Okay.
The staircase that you see there is being removed and the landings are being removed just to make a normal single staircase down. But aside from that, most of what's being done is the top of the handrails, where you would rest your elbows if you're standing up on the deck, has signs of rot. And then on the underside, some of the structural, two of the posts, I believe, are notched 4x4s that need to be replaced to 6x6, and then by today's standards, the way the deck extends off of the cantilevered house, it requires additional post up at the house, right where the cantilever begins. That's all proposed within everything that I've submitted so far.
So next door is, what is that next door? Is that common ground?
It would be that the house that you see in that picture there, it would be the back of their backyard. And they have shrubs growing up is what you're seeing at the fence line.
Mhm. Are there any other questions?
I have
I
no
don't,
questions.
I don't have anything else.
Okay. Is there anyone here in favor or opposition?
I don't see any hands.
In the matter of 41-25, I vote to approve the variance as advertised, the hardship being the odd shape of the lot.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Okay. None opposed. The motion passes.
BZA petition 42-25, Renaissance Developers LLC. This is a request for an exception to the floodplain regulations for the purpose of constructing a single-family home at 992 Brookfield Chase Court. Petitioner seeks a structure setback of 11 feet in lieu of 25 feet, as required by the FP floodplain district regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. Nick, I'm going to unmute you and you can proceed.
Thank you. This is Nick Scheller with Renaissance Living. We're requesting a variance of 12 feet or 13 feet or so to that 25-foot setback to build a single-family home for a proposed client. The home is consistent with the other homes in the neighborhood. If we didn't We were not granted this variance. We could basically build a garage on there. It'd be just basically a front entry garage that we only have like 20 feet from the building line to the line. Concerns would be that I would have would be, elevation, but there's plenty of elevation change. It's just proximity. So we're well above the floodplain. We're just not far enough away from it according to the zoning. So we're asking for, 12 foot away from the 100-year floodway. We are several feet above that. So if anything ever would happen where it would go above the 100-year, there's still a couple more feet before it would do any damage to the home. So we just want to keep the architecture consistent with the other homes in the neighborhood that we've built there.
Mhm. So are all the homes on a floodplain?
None of the homes are in a floodplain.
Okay, it's just that one with
It's just,
the issue.
it's just, and the home is well out of the floodplain. It's just the backyard has the floodplain on it, and we're within that 25-foot setback. So they went 25 feet from the edge of a floodplain to a home. We're asking for 12 feet or so. I'm gonna say it again. Elevation, I think, is more important versus lineal footage. So if we were building on the side of a cliff, you could be right next to a floodway, but not have any worry about the house flooding. We're like I said, we're several feet above the 100-year flood mark at the lowest point of the basement.
For the record, I just wanted to hear what the hardship was stated.
We couldn't build a single family home on this lot.
Of a comparable size to the others, or?
Yes. Yes. So it's comparable size to the other homes in the neighborhood. I think it would detract from the values of the other properties around it.
Now, where are you located?
This is on New Halls Ferry, right across from Hazelwood Central High School.
Okay.
We built, we have 16 lots there, and this is one of the last ones.
Okay, I'm very familiar with the area, so. Are there any other questions?
I have no further questions.
I don't think I have anything either.
Okay. Is there anyone here in favor or opposition?
I don't see any hands.
In the matter of 42-25, based on the lot configuration and the floodway, reducing the buildable area, I would make a motion to approve the variance as advertised.
That motion.
I concur, and I'll just also add that the variance is needed in order to build a comparable house on that lot. All those in favor? Aye.
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 The motion passes.
BZA petition 43-25, James George. This is a request for an exception to the accessory structure requirements for the purpose of constructing a detached garage at 1000 Rainbow Drive. Petitioner seeks a maximum accessory structure aggregate lot coverage of 7.4% in lieu of 7%, and a maximum accessory structure size of 480 square feet in lieu of 462.5 square feet as required by the R4 Residence District regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. So James, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you.
Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. This first time I've tried this from my personal computer. I usually do everything from my work computer. Yeah, so what I'm seeking to do is add a 2-car detached garage behind my property there in yellow. Basically, there's a driveway to the rear that is accessed through the easement for MSD, and I want to build it basically directly behind the deck. Yep, in orange there correctly, and then the existing shed. And the reason I'm asking for variance, I guess you guys refer to it as a hardship, is it's just the house is small, the basement's small. You know, I've got lawnmowers, snow blowers, weed eaters, and that's what I want the shed for. Whereas the garage, you know, we've got, if you look behind there at the back of the picture, those 2 SUVs are ours. We've been the victims of twice of hail damage in the last couple of years. So we just want a place to, you know, be able to safely store our vehicles and our belongings, you know, and keep safe. You know, it's just getting to the point where you just want to have the comforts of life of that kind of thing. Cause you know, it gets costly having to pay for hail damage. You know, you're always worrying about it. We've had door pullers come around pulling our car doors. You know, it's just, and it's not like a huge thing. It's just, you had everything up and it just feels like it would be such an ease and convenience if we had the garage there. You know, and if I made the garage a little narrower, then we get to the point where, you know, trying to have any storage in the garage, the doors of the vehicles would hit it and stuff. So that's why it's kind of trying to stick to this size and shape. I've literally, you know, made lines in the yard and around the vehicles and open doors and just trying to get everything I could as small as I could, you know, when you guys told me to try and shrink it. And it just, you know, it felt like I'd rather go this route to see if I can get it, because it would just make everything just much more comfortable and easier to use for us.
So will
James?
will you be removing the other additional shed on the lot?
No, I'm sorry. I'd like to keep that because that's where the lawnmowers, weed eaters, snow blowers, dethatchers. I literally have an armament of my own yard equipment to maintain my property, and I generally help out my neighbors and stuff like that. So it's like, you know, I got the biggest snow blower you can buy, you know, as far as for home use. And it's just, you know, if I put that in the garage, it'd literally take away from the space in the garage to be able to park a car in there safely and effectively.
James, a question for you. Looking at the site plan, does the house was built without a garage? Is that correct? Or
That it's partially correct. In the old days, it has a tuck under, so that driveway that goes in there. But when I bought the house, because it wasn't drywalled with, you know, and there was another reason. I think it's probably because I couldn't get a car in there. To be honest with you, when I bought it, the occupancy, I think was what it was. He said, you know, you can't use this for a garage. And I said, oh, really? Because you know, I have motorcycles and I was wanting to put a motorcycle in there. So I've just been keeping the motorcycles under the deck covered and stuff like that during bad weather and whatnot. So it's just a matter of trying to protect all my belongings, you know, keep them safe, you know, and all that is real reason for doing all this. And I got to remember, I'm not just the 2 cars, but trying to get 2 motorcycles between them. Because my wife actually rides too. So I know we got a lot for 2 people, but you know, it's just kind of how we are. And, you know, we're very active and just have a lot of things. But yeah, I'd like to keep that for, you know, the storage of, you know, like lawn equipment, I guess we can call it,
Yeah,
and other tools.
we by chance have a site plan showing the sight line from adjacent homes? It seems like that's right near a street, and I just want to make sure the right plan.
No, where the existing shed is, that red line is the property line, or not the property line. Yeah, I think the property line. So roughly another side of that is their driveway, roughly the equidistance from where my driveway is. So it kind of splits them. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. I don't know if you can zoom in there, and you know, and I actually asked, what's his name, Bennett. I've talked to all my neighbors and explained to them what I'm planning on doing, because I'd read that sometimes you guys ask the neighbors for permit, if they approve or disapprove, if they have a problem with it or anything. So I was going to, and I read sometimes you can get that ahead of time. So I was going to go around and get that, because they've already said they have no problem with it, because, you know, the lady at 1006, you know, they sit out there under their awning and look at my shed all the time. And they said it would be nice if I could get my trailer in the driveway and they could have a clear view. So they were kind of like, yeah, it'd be nice. And they didn't have a problem with it, you know, because they've lived there oh shoot, 25 years, I think, or longer.
So I guess my question is can we go back to that same view possibly? Is trying to see how far it's going out into the sight line as far as everything else. So it looks like 1010, 1014, 1018, and 06 have adjacent structures that extended out. Is it going to extend as far out as the adjacent? So like 1018, I see a structure, shed or whatever.
Oh, okay. You talk about the garage portion of it, actually?
Garage. Is it coming out past there or beyond?
No. So if you look at 106, that, what do you call that? They got a carport. That's that white thing in the center of the back of the yard.
Okay.
My garage would be real close to the coming back as far as that does.
Okay, I'm trying.
And probably, yeah, the pool's a little bit set back further, but basically along the same line, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I haven't measured exactly, but I'm familiar with it enough to eyeball it and go, that's probably real close to being on line with it.
Are there any other questions?
Just so I'm clear, I think I'm right about this, but looking at the floor plan, so the driveway, so you would be also including another driveway?
Correct. Yeah, the entrance of the driveway would be from the left as well. So it would be the long driveway going up and then the new driveway being built behind the garage, correct?
Doesn't leave you with a lot of green area. Okay.
I don't have any further questions, Angela.
No further questions for me.
Okay. Is there anyone here in favor or opposition?
I don't see any hands.
In the matter of 40-25, to approve the variance noting the hardship of no access to a parking garage area on the in the small configuration in alignment with adjacent tenants or sites.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
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 The motion passes.
Petition 44-25, First Community Credit Union. This is a request for an exception to the front yard and sign regulations for the purpose of maintaining a freestanding sign at 12855 Tesson Ferry Road. Petitioner seeks a front yard of 9 feet in lieu of 15 feet as required by the C6 Office and Research Service District regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. Petitioner also seeks a maximum sign size of 70 square feet in lieu of 50 square feet as required by section 1003.168 of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. I'll remind the board members that we did have a staff report submitted for this petition and we have staff present to present that advice. Steve, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you and you can proceed.
Hey everybody, my name's Steve. I'm with Warren Sign on behalf of First Community Credit Union. So First Community currently has a branch down on Tesson Ferry Road that they're getting ready to close. And they're moving across the street into the former First Bank 2-story building that's just south of the YMCA there. We've already gotten permits to move some of their wall signs over to the new building, which I think is going to happen in January. And they also have an electronic message center sign that they would like to reuse at the new location. So what we did is we took that message center's dimensions and we designed an ID cabinet to go above it that would look proportional in relation to the message center to take the place of the pylon that's currently on site there. And Ben, is that the only drawing you have of ours?
Of the sign, yes.
Okay. Anyway, we've also added some nice pole covers to give the sign more of a monument appearance. As far as the setback goes, it's about 10 feet from the property line, but it's also about 25 feet from the curb. closer to 50 feet from the closest lane of southbound traffic. So we're hoping that the setback is okay with the current sign. And as far as the square footage, this is how the sign scaled out whenever we built the appropriate ID cabinet to go with this message center. And it just came out to just a hair under the size of the current pylon sign. So we're not asking for an increase on existing. We're just hoping that we can rebuild it to generally the same size that's been there for about 25 years now. And by adding the pole cover, we're getting rid of the pylon poles. I think it's really a good improvement to the sign overall.
Are there any questions?
Maybe I missed it, I'm sorry, but I did not hear the hardship.
At this setback and height, we feel the additional square footage is necessary to have the name big enough to be seen from the road.
So is it, maybe it says just by this side it's not big enough, is it an impairment or?
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to understand that the hardship isn't in that the signage can't be visibly seen, or is it an impairment?
We don't feel that it would be large enough to be read from traffic, mostly going northbound, because that's almost 100 feet from the sign. We feel it's appropriate to have a sign that is the size that was there previously and that fits with the size of the message center.
Okay.
Okay. Are there any other questions?
So I guess, yeah, just to get a little bit of clarity, there's two variances here, right, Bennett? There's one for the setback and one for the size sign or the size of the sign?
Correct.
Okay. And the setback that they're asking for is 9 feet. And the code says what? 10?
15.
15. Okay. Sorry. Thank you.
And this is pretty much a commercial area.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Are there any other questions?
Steve, is there a possibility of, can we go back to the site plan, Bennett? Is there a place to place that sign that would meet the setbacks?
The sign currently is in an existing sign planter on existing steel poles.
Mhm.
In order to redo the sign, you'd have to create a new planter or at least move the current one and also cut down those steel poles, redo a lot of footing. It'd be very wasteful to have to redo the sign just for the small setback issue, especially because we're already 25 feet from the curb. It's just the property line technicality.
So you all are looking to utilize the same structure.
Correct.
Okay.
Are there any other questions?
Not so much a question, but observation. So going back to the site plan, I understood your comments, Steve, but there are other options for a location for a sign. It's just that you're trying to utilize the structural component that's already existing.
If we were forced to rebuild in a location that was 15 feet from the property line, I think we could find a spot that would work, but that would be a huge hindrance.
Okay. Thank you. I have no other questions.
Okay. Is there anyone here in favor or opposition?
I do not see any hands. We do have additional slides from staff if you would like to hear that.
Okay, sure.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm sorry, my camera stopped working on me, but I'm Gretchen Landgraf. I'm the senior planner for the Department of Planning. The board did receive a staff report for this petition. So just kind of to reiterate, for the board, when considering a variance, You know, you're looking to make sure that it does not merely serve as a convenience to the applicant. It doesn't alleviate, that it alleviates a demonstrable and unusual hardship for the applicant. It would not be injurious to the neighborhood or otherwise detrimental to the public welfare, and that, but for the variance, strict application of zoning regulations will impose upon the applicant practical difficulties. You can go to the next slide, Bennett. So staff did, in their staff report, recommend denial of both requests. Staff does believe that the applicant's request for a front yard setback of 9 feet in lieu of 15 feet is unreasonable at this site, as there are no environmental or topographical issues on the site. While the existing non-conforming sign is located within the setback, staff has found that the proposed changes to the sign are significant and constitute as a new sign. Therefore, the sign needs to meet the required setbacks as noted in the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. Also, the applicant's request to maximize the allowable square footage for a freestanding sign from 50 square feet to 69.6 square feet is unreasonable, as the site has several 75 square foot wall signs on the building to advertise to travelers along Tesson Ferry. You can go to the next slide. The petitioner noted the need for the sign location to be 9 feet in lieu of 15 feet, and the sign size of 69.6 square feet in lieu of 50 square feet, as a smaller sign and a sign further away from the road would not be as effective along Tesson Ferry Road. Staff finds that the petitioner has not demonstrated an unusual land use-based hardship unique to the subject property, and the request merely serves as a convenience to the applicant. The sign regulations, also for note, are not determined based on the width of the adjacent roadway. The request is not in harmony with the intent of the zoning ordinance, and there is not a difficulty for the petitioner to comply with the regulations stated in the zoning ordinance. Therefore, staff's analysis is that the request does not meet the standards for issuance of a variance and recommends denial of both requests. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, are we ready to take our vote?
Well, just a question
Sure.
about process, and maybe John, I don't know. I mean, this is additional information. Obviously the staff report was out. Does it seem to make sense to allow the petitioner an opportunity to discuss staff's recommendation?
Yeah, I think at this time you could ask for a response to what they've just said.
Okay. Angela, if you're okay with that, I think
fine with
it's
it,
only
yeah.
fair to give them
Yeah.
an opportunity to discuss or refute anything that was just said.
Okay.
Okay, Steve, I will unmute you.
Hi, good afternoon again. Was this staff report sent to us prior to this meeting?
No.
That's very,
Yeah. I think the staff report needs to be shared with the petitioner. And I think we probably need to give them an opportunity to digest it and respond accordingly. That would be my thought. I don't know, Steve, I'd be willing to make a motion to continue this, to give you guys an opportunity.
Is there a issue?
we're blindsided here. Okay. I've never had staff come into a meeting and want to present evidence against a claim.
Yeah. So look, Angela, if you're okay with it, for this particular petition, let's see, what is this? 44-25, I make a motion to continue this petition and give the applicant a chance to get the staff report and present again once they have all that information.
Okay, I second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The motion passes that this case will be continued until next month.
Okay, we do have two for the good of the order items. First is I want to give you guys an update on the bylaws that we worked on for the last several months. They are currently in the legal review phase, or they have been submitted to legal review. So once we get the go-ahead from that process, we will be able to bring it to you guys for consideration to adopt. And in addition to that, we have the 2026 meeting schedule, which was sent along with this agenda packet. And the calendar notices will also be going out shortly. But these are the 12 meetings for 2026 that we have scheduled. Are there any questions about those two items?
Do we need to approve that meeting schedule?
That would be my recommendation. I believe you've done that in the past.
Yeah, I thought so too. Thanks, John.
You're welcome.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2026 BZA meeting schedule as presented.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
None opposed. It carries.
Okay, that's all the business we have for you guys today.
Okay, I move that we conclude the meeting.
That motion.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
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 Motion passes. I will see you all next month. Happy holidays.
Thanks. Happy holidays.
Take care.